I'm Jonathan.
What's up? What's up with your boy JB?
And I'm Mr. Marty Shaw, DJ Marty.
I hope that's the last time we get to use that intro, man. You know that music at the beginning. I hope this is the last time we get to use that.
You really do not like that goddamn intro, though.
You know, I picked it at first just because I was like, oh, okay, it sounds bouncy. You know, happy that we're here, and now I'm just like.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna do 3 episodes today, so it's probably gonna be at least one more time.
Fuck.
I want to use it. 3 times a charm. Not.
Marty, I need this beat now, man.
It's gonna come, man. I promise you for the most part. It's gonna come. I'm working on it as soon as possible.
That's what's up. Anyways, guys, what's up? It's glad to be back here. Today we're talking about.
So I thought, because before we started recording the last episode, we started talking about John Hughes movies. So I thought we could talk about movies, but we'll start with John Hughes, because you seem to be a fan. I'm a huge fan. Yeah. John Hughes is one of my favorite directors.
Man, like he's just cool, man. Like I love his direction in his movies, man. I love the nostalgia, especially his '80s films. Like Weird Science is definitely like a.
So if you had to give me your favorite John Hughes movie that he directed, not that he wrote, like not Home Alone, not Vacation, like that he directed, what would be your favorite John Hughes directed movie?
He did do right. He did.
I don't know if he. I don't think he directed. He definitely didn't direct Home Alone. I don't think he directed Vacation, and he didn't direct. I don't think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think those he just wrote. Although Planes, Trains, and Automobiles we could talk about forever because I love that movie.
If it had to be, I would definitely just say it'd be WS, man, because I've been there. Like it's a relatable movie.
Weird Science?
Yeah, it's just such a relatable movie, man. Like
I can't. You've never heard there was a show?
No, man. I swear I did not know there was a whole show of that. Like
it's a whole.
Like
show.
I feel out of touch, but still.
I say that though. My favorite Ferris Bueller movie. I mean, my favorite John Hughes Ferris Bueller. I jumped the gun on that one. Seriously, I love Ferris Bueller. And there's a show, but I've never seen it. Jennifer Aniston's in it, but I've never been able to find it. What? It's like a couple episodes, I think. It didn't last long.
There. I mean, her ass isn't. Oh, no, she's definitely not.
But Ferris Bueller's my favorite. I love that movie.
He had a great day off. I promise you. He was very active.
That was like, to me, that movie, like, I used to watch that shit every week.
Like I personally think that 80s movies literally just had like a certain touch that movies nowadays just don't hit. Like, no. They don't. 80s and early 90s and early 2000s. Wow. I'm sorry to be stuck in like an era, but I'm sorry. The filmmakers nowadays, excluding y'all. Okay. Y'all need to get on your job.
Jason, you paid her, right?
You know what I'm saying? and y'all cinematography.
Greatness when he sees it. You know what it
y'all
is.
cinematography be out of touch. You know what I'm saying? And y'all writing is terrible. Sorry, just being honest.
It's just, you're right. It's an era. Like you look at 70s movies and they were gritty. They were dark. There was a real world feel to them. Oof. Like you couldn't. I was about to say you can't do Death Wish now, but Bruce Willis made a Death Wish, but it's not the same. Like his remake, it's not. Was it Charles Bronson? Like that. You've seen Death Wish, right?
Yes.
That movie is so dark and just kind of fucked up.
Like, oh yeah, it's fucking dark.
Like, and then like what Taxi Driver, like that 70s was just that. It was
Robert De Niro Taxi Driver, right?
Yes.
See, there you go. But okay, you know how Die Hard made you feel? You was like Die Hard, right? You can't get.
It's my favorite Christmas movie. I love Die Hard.
There you go. You can't get a Die Hard right now in this era, can you? Sorry, you have to take one.
I feel like my best example for this is what's that Stephen King movie? Pet Sematary. Like if you look at the old version,
love it,
and then you look at the new version,
they're
both based off the same story, and they both hit the same beats. But one is let's live with these characters, and the new one's like, well, let's just hit all the points people want us to hit. It's like they rushed through it. Movies back then, if you made a Die Hard today, it would be, I mean, like, it'd be kind of like Beekeeper. I don't know if you guys seen Beekeeper.
Not yet.
I'm going to see it. I was going to see it today.
I saw your and Zelda's.
Yeah, I liked it. It was enjoyable, but it is very much like, well, let's just get to killing people.
Oh man, it was a storyline. Did
they have a storyline? But
that's every Jason Statham movie ever. Like
Transporters. Oh my god!
Like
don't open the box. Don't open the package. You open the package.
Start fighting and killing people. And then Expendables. We're
gonna start fighting and killing people. Same thing with
Sylvester Stallone. War.
His partner died.
Well, there's stories. I'm not saying there's no stories to these movies, but they're not character driven. They're plot driven.
Plot and then action and then
But old movies were character driven. Taxi Driver, I don't give a fuck what happens in that movie. I'm following this dude on his journey.
You're like, whoa, like
Rocky. Like I like the Creed movies. I do. I love the Creed movies.
Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. He died. Apollo Creed
died.
Yeah, man. Dang, Apollo died.
And he was young too. He was only in
That's
the 70s.
what I was saying. That's what I was telling Elijah. I was like, yeah, preacher man. I was like, bro.
I haven't seen how he died. Did he?
No, it just said it like on the phone.
Cause he was like what 78? Like it's still young. Like
I started thinking that you are decrepit, depending on how you take care of yourself around 80s, like 80 and 90 and everything. That's why I'm like, okay, now it's okay to fall off. But when you in like the 50s,
it's okay to fall off.
Yeah, it's okay to go home. Like it's okay to meet Jesus and everything. Go to the upper room if you will. It's just
that hit me though when he died. I was like, man, he was in so many great things.
It's okay to fall off.
Like he was in Action Jackson.
The way he
yes,
yeah, see, like Craig T. Nelson, in Vanity, you know,
fucking Predator.
Yeah, see, okay, you mentioned a remake. What you said, Pet Sematary?
Yeah.
Okay.
I use that one because the pacing is so different than the original. And there's just like, let's hit all the beats without actually caring about the characters.
It is quick.
Because I didn't care about anybody in that movie. In the remake, I never cared about anybody.
All I remember is, nah. And they also had another Pet Sematary too. It was like
Blood just came out, right?
Yeah, and it was about Judd. Yeah, it was like
I just watched that too.
Yeah. It was like, well, why did Judd be Judd? Basically.
I actually kind of like that better than the remake.
I was watching that, but I said the same thing. I was like, I enjoy this.
You ever watch any of the Pet Sematary, Jay?
Nope. Breakfast Club, my favorite '80s movie.
You love yourself. Oh, I know you love yourself. The Breakfast Club.
So that's your favorite John Hughes movie? We never asked you that. I'm sorry.
And Kiefer Sutherland.
We got so far away.
And Ringwald Marley. You know.
Okay. So out of John Hughes '80s movies, Breakfast Club is your favorite.
It was my favorite. It was my mom's favorite too.
I do love that one too. That is a brilliant movie. You ever see Degrassi?
Yeah.
Wherever it takes.
There's an episode of Degrassi that's just the Breakfast Club. It's Drake, it's JT, not JT,
Drake.
Toby. It's all these different kids who never hung out, and then they're all stuck in there. I think that's when Jimmy Brooks, Drake, and Hazel started dating. Like it's a great episode. It's just them on Saturday detention running around the school.
You getting shot, Drake, was my favorite part of that entire Degrassi thing.
Man, bro, you really don't like Aubrey, do you?
No. No, I don't.
To be fair, though, if you watch Degrassi all the way through, Jimmy Brooks is the most privileged person on that entire show.
Technically is.
Dude had everything going for him. He got shot in the back, paralyzed, and was still the best basketball player at that school.
Yeah, and on top of that, he was a rapper, too. Like,
and he was great at bass.
Yeah. He was great at dinner.
And he was an amazing artist. Could have gone professional. Literally, him and Spinner were selling shirts.
I'm telling you, bro. Like,
and then he became a lawyer. And he was rich.
I can't stand people who come up from fame into the rap game,
and then they get everything,
and then they act like they came from nothing.
And that's why my favorite song is
it's like
starting from the bottom now I'm here.
I'm like, shut your
We
whack
hated that song because of that very same thing. Like we used to mock that song.
Yeah,
I'm territory I am.
My introduction to Drake was literally, hey, yo, you know Jimmy Brooks raps? I was like, no, he doesn't. And then they showed me his mixtape, and I was like, all right,
I can't front. I definitely, I'm not gonna lie. I love his mixtapes. Like, you know,
his mixtapes and his first, I think, his first three albums,
like
were really good.
The Thank Me Later, the Take Care, Nothing Was the Same.
Afterwards, nothing was the same. I don't care for as much as the first two, but it was still good. I really love his first two.
As a person who really does not like Drake as a person and as an artist, I had to say Motions was probably pretty good to me.
The Motions?
The Motions.
Yeah. And that was on Nothing Was the Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did love the song where it was just a Degrassi reunion. I listened to that. I watched the music video of that a lot.
See John at home with his energy drink and his fucking...
I don't drink energy drinks. Those are fucking disgusting. It's a Dr. Pepper.
With his Dr. Pepper and Degrassi in the background.
Man, y'all...
Hey, every season of Degrassi that was ever released on DVD I have. When the hell are they going to release the rest of it? I love Degrassi.
Was you a big fan of Eli? I like Imogen. Imogen Marino. That crazy bitch opera.
I liked Eli when he wasn't going crazy.
Yes. When him and Clarence,
I wanted to get myself a her, so that's pretty cool. Just rolling around town.
Eli was the shit. I fucked with Eli like he was on his like.
My favorite character though across all the shows, all what 4 shows, is Joey Jeremiah. I love Joey Jeremiah.
I did like Allie. Allie was fine.
Allie,
yeah,
she's still fine.
Yeah, I saw Allie was fine. You know Allie.
I didn't watch the.
Manny too.
Yes, Manny. Hug me some Manny. You know what I'm saying?
But Joey Jeremiah, and then I really liked I really liked JT, and I like Spinner.
I did fuck with them too.
Although Spinner ending up with Emma made no sense to me. It made no sense.
I personally believe y'all that the film industry need to stop with these remakes because they run out of ideas. I really didn't like the Candyman. The new Candyman.
The new Candyman? I don't understand. I didn't mind it, but I was like, why don't you just have Tony Todd in this movie?
He was in there toward the end.
Towards the end.
But when there was a small little cameo.
Yeah, but why not just make Tony Todd is still acting. He's still a genius.
I mean, and he's way better than that other dude who...
That's the only reason why I didn't watch Candyman, because Candyman is one of the very few... to me, it's not scary, but...
It's a horror movie.
Horror movies that I absolutely love. My very first introduction... right after Jeepers Creepers was Candyman. And so watching Candyman, the original, the first one, blown away.
And there was the Cabrini Green.
I know the sequels aren't as good, but I like 2 and 3 as well.
I fucked with 2. I didn't see 3. Yeah. But my brothers were like, nah, you're not going to like it. And
it's not as good, but I still enjoy it.
I'm going to check it out.
I like shitty sequels. I do. I'm a fan.
Honestly, there was a Hellraiser 3, right? I was watching it recently.
There's 20.
There's a lot of Hellraisers.
I've seen them all. I had a marathon.
But pretty much Hellraiser 3, I can see when they talk about, okay, you're not going to like it.
I think it's 5 or 6. Brings back the cast from the first 2. Like, it's the girl again. She's back there.
Kirsty?
Yeah, so
Kirsty's back, bro?
So it's basically a sequel from Hellraiser 1 and 2. Like, but you got to get to like the 6th one to do it. And then there's a Hellraiser in space. There's also a Leprechaun in space.
I know about that. That was like what, 5?
4?
No, I think it was 4 or 5. No, I think 4
5
was back in the hood, right?
No. 5 is hood, and then 6 is back to the hood.
Okay, and so 4 was in space.
In space, yeah.
Okay. Leprechaun 3 was the casino
Vegas.
In Vegas.
Which for most people that I know, myself included, it's always a toss up between 1 and 3 as the best one.
And 3 wasn't bad.
I love
the first 3.
3.
No, the first 3 was the shit.
The second one is good too, but to me it comes in third. The 1 and 3, because Vegas one is, I think the Vegas one's
was
better
just the
than,
top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So to me it's 1, 3, and then 2.
That's how you know you made
and then 5, then 4, and then 6.
That's how you know you made a good sequel. Is when you gotta like when you're the third, rank. Okay, the third one's better than the second one, and the second one may be the first one. It's like, but that's how you know you did a good trilogy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when you can be like, okay,
because the Vegas one is amazing. Like it's so good.
Are y'all some HP fans? I like Harry Potter. Are y'all like HP?
I love the books. The movies are painful.
Now, okay, since you're a book person, I like books too. I didn't get a chance to read. I think, what is it, Goblet of Fire, the rest of it.
Goblet of Fire is my favorite.
But if I gotta say my favorite books, Chamber of Secrets. Like
Chamber. We only had an option of the Sorcerer's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets.
Actually, I take that back.
I had Prisoner of Azkaban because I said to read the 4th.
I take it back. The Goblet of Fire is one of my favorite books. My favorite book will always be Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, that's the 5th right there.
The 5th. The Order of the Phoenix will always be my favorite. That one it's sad, but it's great. That's brilliant. Did you ever, earlier episode we talked about the Harry Potter books and you were like, I never read the last one. Did you ever finish it?
Reading
the last book?
Yeah, I don't even own the book.
Oh, okay. Because you said you were like, I'll get around to it eventually.
It's on my to-do list.
Okay.
It's on my list. you know when it goes on that list, it might not get done.
My homegirl always says like, I'll do it when I'm 70. That's her answer to everything she doesn't want to do. When I'm 70.
Man, I would love for y'all, since we talking about film, I would love for y'all to do a horror one time, or like a horror drama.
Well, I have a horror movie I want to do that I've.
You for real, no captivity, bro. Because you say you was trying to stay away from horror because it wasn't your cup of tea. I remember that.
But every filmmaker, director, writer has one film outside of their area that they have written for. Like, and for me, it's I don't know, I don't remember the name of it. I don't think I have a name for it yet, but it's about,
Go ahead, because this is news to me.
It's about witches. And
I think you told me this.
I've told.
It's about Wicca.
Yeah, it's about witches and how it's going to be the past meets the present, and how I don't want y'all to steal my idea.
No,
but,
yeah.
Like we'll talk about that.
Yeah, please, because that's too good. Oh, I want to endorse this one.
But it's completely horror film. And so I'm gonna need John's expertise when we film it.
Bro.
So, but yeah, man, it's completely horror film.
God, this is news.
I love.
Y'all hear this, y'all? Yes, it's going down.
I've tried and failed twice to film a slasher. The first time it failed because, we were like 19, just didn't have the resources.
Now you're a full-grown adult, so now.
Second time we filmed half of it, and then the killer got signed supposedly to Cash Money and went on tour. Never seen him do anything, but he left in the middle of production to go on tour.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I know how to leave in the middle of production, so I
can't cut out the part where I said he'd never done anything. He got signed to Cash Money and went on tour. Just leave that part.
He got signed to Cash Money, bro.
Apparently, yeah.
But I think he one of the ones who never released the.
I don't know if he ever released anything, but I think he was opening for other people and stuff like that. So he went on a tour.
He got signed, but I hate to say
but he left in the middle of production, and then we just never got back to it.
Yeah. Well, what's stopping you now?
To do it again, a third slasher.
I'd want to rewrite the scripts. But nothing's really stopping me from doing it.
Then why don't we do it? You have backup.
Well, I'm actually working on another slasher that I'm working on right now that I'm planning on filming. So cool. I'm writing that script.
Let me, and if you don't mind, I would love to create some dark, demonic, type of scoring.
I mean, we already have it's all going to take place in one location. We have the location locked down. So
you got a team.
I'm just working on the script because me and my friend were writing it together, so it's taking a little longer to write because I've never written with anyone before.
When you co-write with someone, it could be hell on earth.
It's been a chill experience, but
for me it was hell on earth.
It's just taking a while because it's matching our schedules together to get together. You know what I mean?
All right, 2 questions. 1, how is it hell on earth when you're co-writing? And then the second one will be, what will be your favorite slasher since you're in the slashers?
Okay.
Let's say that later.
Okay, so for me, and this is everybody has their own experience.
Okay.
My issue was it was 2 universally different ideas, unable to come to a compromise to write the script the way it needed to be.
So how did you go about starting? Because when me and my friend, me and McKinder started writing it together, we spent a couple days. Well, we had 2 or 3 different days where we met up and just talked about premise.
So you got to remember, the foundation was already there.
So you had all that worked out,
right.
So.
But it was a lot of things that he wanted to change that you've read, and it was a lot of things that I felt was unnecessary. That got you. You have to, when you co-write, you have to give and take. If you're writing with someone who's just taking and taking and taking and taking, it makes it difficult. That's why it becomes hell on earth, because then you see the project you had envisioned turned into something
being convoluted and diluted.
I would imagine though for you guys it would have been easier because me and McKinder had to come up with everything from scratch. So we're having all these meetings before we even put pen to paper of just what are we trying to make, what are we trying to say, what is the premise. All your partner had to do was come in and help you streamline things.
You know who my partner was.
No, I do.
And so you can understand how difficult that was.
Yeah.
It was his way or no way. And so...
I'm just saying it should have relatively been easier.
And theoretically, you are absolutely fucking correct. Theoretically, it should have been...
historically and realistically,
it should have been.
You need a better partner.
I do. So but John's experience is different. John is actually, y'all seem to be on the same mind, same path, and it works.
Well, because and the way we do it generally is we'll talk about a scene, we'll talk about what we want, and then I'll sit and we'll be together and I'll write it and then I'll read it to her and she'll be like, all right, let's change this. So it really is. It's not 2 people putting pen to paper. It's really one person putting pen to paper, and then the other person helping me come up with everything and helping me alter. Yeah,
it sounds like.
But before we write the scene, we talk about what we want to talk about in there. So it's collaborative, but it's only one person touching the keyboard.
And that's the problem. There was two people.
Too many people.
The keyboard.
Because also, like on his script, you read one scene and then you read the next scene. And it's like the voice changes. And that was the one thing I said too. It was like I want the voice to stay consistent throughout.
Yeah.
And your script, the voice kept altering.
Yeah.
And you can't have that because then it doesn't sound like anything.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which was a big reason why that script didn't work. But now, your favorite slasher. I already know the answer. We had this discussion.
Oh, God, man. What will be your favorite slasher, sir? Come on, man.
It's just slasher.
Slasher.
It has to probably be Friday Part 3. For Friday.
Oh my God! When he first gets the mask, oh my Jesus Christ!
Not my favorite horror movie, but my favorite
slasher. Okay.
Favorite horror movie will always be Event Horizon.
Okay. I need to check that out because I've never seen Event Horizon.
Young Lawrence Fishburne.
I'll definitely. I'll read it all. It's hard.
What's your favorite Friday the 13th?
Ooh, that's hard. Oh my God, that's hard because I love the New Blood. I love 4, 3, 2. Shit, man, it's hard. 5 is okay, but
right.
People don't rate.
5's not really Jason. Though.
I know it was the goddamn dude whose son got hacked up by Vince when he was like, but he kept fucking with him. He's cannon bar.
I know it's blasphemy, but I
and
like
6.
6 is great. I like Manhattan. I know people shit on it.
I fuck with Manhattan. I like the whole ending where he was in the toxic waste.
That ending
that threw me off. That was off. That threw away the whole.
They just ignore that for 9.
I couldn't. Because it was toward the end.
Yeah.
So it's like you build me up. You do everything right from the beginning, the middle, and then
I forgot the black dude's name, but when he's up on the roof,
Jules
boxing
Jules was getting him. He was getting it. All right, had his phone, had a chin tuck, and he was throwing him. He was throwing him to Jay.
I'd have to say the weakest one though is probably 9.
That was everywhere.
Jason Goes to Hell
when he was possessing people through
I feel like that
heart and everything.
I feel like someone wrote a horror movie and then they're like, let's just put Jason in it.
That's what that was. No, real fans know that's exactly what the fuck they did.
Because it doesn't feel like anything.
Jason movie, we can skip that one. Yeah. But I do like Creighton.
Well, the one part about it I do like is the very end when Freddy's glove comes up
and snatches it.
Snatches it down.
Another one where it was a trip to Japan. When you come up, it wasn't bad. It was Jason X. But when you like a grown adult and you watch it, you be like, okay, now. So they just like preserved his ass.
To be fair, I was a kid when that came out. I saw it like as a kid. I dressed as Jason X for Halloween. Like I like that movie the year it came out. Like I'm not gonna lie, like that movie. I don't know. I love sci-fi. I love horror. That movie blended it to me. Unlike Leprechaun in Space, which I was just like, what the fuck is this?
we could do without that Leprechaun, but hey, man, y'all did it. It's y'all fault, but it's okay. Part of cinema history.
Oh man. They made a Leprechaun Returns, which is a sequel to the first one, but they replaced the main dude. And it's like...
Warwick Davis? Was it Warwick Davis, right?
Yeah, he wasn't in the new one. And I'm just
Ludicrous.
like, why?
Ludicrous, man. What the fuck, man? That's like, no, bro. That's like you having Straight Fire and then you don't have him directed. And you being... Come on, man. Come on. It's foul.
All right, Jason. So what? So 80s movies. What's your... You said Breakfast Club's your favorite.
Yeah.
What about that movie speaks to you?
You know, I just love the it's just so fun. And I say that because there was really no plot. It was just a bunch of kids who got forced.
Well, it's a character study. The movie's just a character study.
And so,
how it develops.
These kids coming together on a Saturday, and it was just fun, man. You know, you had, what's his name? I want to say Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
Judd Nelson, the iconic Mala. He
hits
me. It hits me. It hits it. And, he's going off on that. And it was just a fun movie, man. Seeing what Molly Ringwald was doing at that age. And then, of course, my boy Emilio Estevez.
Yes, sir.
And so, I'm a huge Emilio Estevez
Charlie Sheen's brother.
And, yeah, which is crazy because I didn't know that until a lot later in life.
Martin Sheen's son.
Mm-hmm. And so, it was just so fun.
I love that movie.
I'm a big fan. And I love the music for that.
Oh my God, them rock stars, that classic 80s rock was jamming.
Breakfast Club is...
Don't you
forget about me.
Come on, yes.
I love character study movies. I just saw it was, I don't know why it's getting no press, but there's an Anthony Hopkins movies in theaters right now called Freud's Last Session. Mm-hmm. It's playing like one time a day. This movie's getting no love, but I watched it. It's brilliant, and it's just a character study. It's just what it's the premise of what if C.L. Lewis, the guy who made the Chronicle of Narnicles books, mm-hmm. and Sigmund Freud, right before he died, sat down and had a conversation about God, and that's all the movie is. It's just them having a conversation about God, and it's kind of brilliant. Like I love movies like that, and Breakfast Club is I think the perfect example. It's just let's put these weird, different people together in a room and see how they interact.
Yeah, and it was so well done. You know, at the end, it was like. It was so funny because the jock got with the loner, and then the person who you thought the jock would get with, Molly Ringwald, she ended up with the bad boy, and it was just, you know, it was, and then, like, I'm not gonna lie, though, that Captain Crunch sandwich?
Yeah.
I growing up, I used to make that bitch, too, like, it was, you know, because, and it may also be a sentimental thing for me, too. I'm not a big sentimental person, you know, I'm not... I really hold no attachments to a lot of things, but my mom, before she died, could say that whole movie word for word, sound off, and just word for word everyone's dialogue. So, you know, knowing that's something
that
connection there, it's also a big reason why it's such a monumental movie.
It's definitely, I think, one of his best movies. I love that movie.
Breakfast Club is fire. Like, what would be your favorite character, if you could say? Or characters,
you know,
or it's just a whole bunch.
I love everyone differently, but
stand out.
To me, it's always going to be Judd Nelson's character.
Yeah,
he you know,
is it Ben? What was his name on that? It's Bender, right?
Bender,
yeah. He's my favorite on that movie, 100%.
100%. Like, but you know, I also love Emilio Estevez, and I also love the way he brought that jock character out and everything.
He pulled that jock character to
He really does make you, because at the beginning you're just like, fuck this dude.
Yeah, he's a dick.
And then like to see him develop.
He gives you Mighty Ducks 1 vibes. Like, he's an asshole. He doesn't care about what anybody. He's here to do his time and go home and fuck everything else.
That show got canceled, and I think a large part is so they didn't bring him back for season 2.
Yeah.
Like,
they had a series?
They had a series.
Mm-hmm.
That's ass, man. How you gonna sit here and not bring him back for season 2? Or they cancel it.
Well, they brought season 2 back, but they didn't bring him on, and they didn't write the character off. They're like, oh, it's summer camp, implying he might be back for season 3, but it was real different. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. He is Mighty Ducks.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't see Mighty Ducks without seeing him. Yeah. Like, that's why whenever they had the sequel to Mighty Ducks,
the third one, where he's like in the beginning and then he gives the team away to a new coach.
I didn't like it because I binged Mighty Ducks 1, 2, and 3.
There you go.
And so I didn't even, and this just may be me, but I didn't even like the character changes from Mighty Ducks 1 to Mighty Ducks 2 because you lost. I'm not gonna lie. I even like the third one because he's in it enough where I'm just like I still like it, and I like the third one. I thought dealt with growing up the best. That's the one where they went to. They're like a preppy school thing. They were like. They had the new coach and all the positions were changed. Right, and, yeah.
Let me go want to watch this now.
Like, Mighty Ducks, man.
You know Cause that was history, man. That was childhood, bro.
Here's a question from childhood. Do you remember the Mighty Ducks cartoon?
Yeah.
Yes! Mighty Ducks! Bro, that was the shit with the
superheroes! Like,
Draconis? Bro.
Be careful, not too loud.
I'm sorry, bro, but that's just a button, like, a good button. Like, come on, man. That's childhood. That's like saying, do you remember the Goofy movie? Come on.
Oh, better than that, you remember Goof Troop.
Like Papa, like so. Always number one. There's Buddy. Yes, bro.
Darkwing Duck.
Yes.
Darkwing Duck. Look out. When there's trouble, you call Quack Pack. Yes, bro. Love it.
Who remember Moo Maces?
Cowboy Moo Maces.
I will be honest. The only reason I know about them is because Rocky and Bullwinkle's Family Fun Center had a video game of it. I've never seen the cartoon. I didn't even know it was a cartoon until later in life.
Cowboy Moon Mason. Bro, we used to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch that right before school. We get ready for school. We eat. We turn on TV. Watch some Cowboy Moon Mason.
And Mummy's Alive.
Mummy's Alive was the shit.
What was another one? Archie's Weird Mysteries.
So I never actually watched Archie's Weird Mysteries. Before school, me and my friends. Me and my friends were bad. I'd wake up, watch an episode of Recess. Oh. And then, because I lived in an apartment, like Section 8, so it was all single parents. They were all off to work. So wake up, watch an episode of Recess, go to my friend's house, play PlayStation for a little bit, and then go to the grocery store, or the corner mark, like the little corner store. Half the time hide because one of our parents might be getting gas there, so hide so they don't see us. And then roll up to school like an hour late every day. But our school had this thing. I don't know why they did this, but our school had this thing where you could just walk in and get a tardy ship and fill it out yourself. And, like, no one there monitored it. So we would just fill it out, whatever, and we get excused absences every morning. They never checked it.
Oh, that was live, bro. We can't do this shit no more now, of course. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think kids are walking to school anymore.
No.
Like, you don't really see that a lot.
Well, I mean, it was difficult for me to walk to school, not because I'm fat, but because, like...
The area.
My parents didn't want me to go to Forest Hill schools, so they literally drove me across town to a JT Stevens.
For 4th and 5th grade, I was at a magnet school, so I had to take the bus, almost a half hour away, yeah.
This shit was... Man, but no, you don't really see people walking to school now.
You don't really see kids playing
outside. The bus? No, they're only on their tablets or phones or social media or something. But as far as kids being active, like how the early 2000s and 90s was in the 80s, that's distinct, bro.
When I was a kid, it was like, go
students
outside.
And skateboard. Yes.
It was like, I don't want you in the house.
Yeah, yes, because like, if unless you're cleaning up or doing something, get your ass at the house. Like, you need to be doing something that's...
As a parent, it's different now. Like... I don't trust the people outside. Like out now.
I do.
It's different now. Like when we were kids.
I think though that social media.
But that's exactly what it is.
Because crime is actually less now than it was when we were kids.
And I get that, but as a parent, I'm not going to test your statistics.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that's just social media constantly hounding you with the worst of everything.
Yeah. And then no, I get it, and I see exactly your perception and point of view, and I agree with it. The thing is, but it doesn't stop the fact that...
You alright?
I'm good, man.
I thought that was your knee.
Nah. This is my titty. But, you know, it doesn't stop the fact that as a parent now, I'm just like... I can't, you know, when I was 5 years old, I was running the block.
So was I.
Like, you know, and Joey's 5 years old, and he's afraid to walk out the door, like, by himself. So it's kind of I don't know, man. And then I'm thinking, if me and Lauren actually have a kid, how much leash am I going to give that kid? Because my grandparents gave, and I'm sure all of our parents gave us that leash. Like, my grandpa gave me a fucking walkie-talkie and says, the moment the walkie-talkie don't work, that's as far as you can go. I
was told, don't cross any freeways.
That's what I was told. Yeah.
Still did, but I was told not to.
Yeah.
But I do think that the other difference.
Stay out of Hobo Alley, and we said fuck it, and still went into Hobo Alley.
I do think though that a major difference from when we were kids and now is when we were kids, there were other kids outside. If you were to send your kid outside, who's he going to play with? He's just going to be outside by himself.
Yeah.
So it is kind of something like where until everybody starts doing it, you know what I mean? Like. Because there's something when there's a bunch of kids playing outside versus there's one kid outside by themselves.
Well, I know when I was growing up, if there was no one out, you know, because I lived next door to Ruben and everything. So, you know, if there was nobody out there, then why would I be out there? So I just go home and pick up my...
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there was always people outside. I could just walk around for 10 minutes and find people to hang out with.
At the playground. We had a playground that was literally right down the block.
My apartments had quite a few playgrounds,
so, like, there was always some... kid riding a bike or something.
Well, and then you do that too. You just ride your bike around town, and then when you see other bikes there, you're like, all right, here's where I'm rolling up.
Like, you start skateboarding around the block. I'm like, oh my god, you skate? Yeah, I skate.
See, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that in Fort Worth because, like, if you see other bikes and sitting down and you weren't invited,
you get your bike stolen or
jump. You couldn't do that here. Like, you have to be, if you're not part of the neighborhood groups, and Marty can attest because we're from two different neighborhoods, but it's all the same. It's all the same. Like you roll up to a bunch of bikes that you ain't familiar with, you're gonna get your ass whooped, your bike stolen, and you're gonna get your shoes jacked. In that order.
Well, I'm specifically talking about like you see bikes you know. I'm not saying you're
that's
going.
not how he said it though.
That's not how I said it. Yeah. And to be fair, my best friend just knocked on my door one day. It was like, hey, you know so and so, and I was like, yeah. All right, you got a 64, right? He told me you have a 64. Yeah, you want to play Zelda? And I was like, all right, yeah. That's how we became friends.
But it's kind of like you would have to know that person. If you didn't know that person, it was like, why are you even trying to be in our group? You're trying to usurp, you're trying to infiltrate, and they'll treat you as an op.
To be fair though, I very much stayed in my neighborhood. Like I stayed with my people. I didn't really go outside and fuck with other people.
It was I think it is difficult more nowadays because really everybody's inside playing video games or doing something like that,
or on their phones or tablets or some electronic, like, and they're gaming hella hard, you know, like they're.
Why go outside when you got the world at your fingertips?
Legit, and it's like you're literally talking to
but
3-5
like, me and my friends
people
love video games, but that's what we did at night. Nighttime was for video games.
But you also got to remember your era. Our era grew up where we were playing outside, then coming home playing video games at night. This era of kids, it's much more different. It's not like
you're not gonna catch them outside, man. Like I feel like if you gave them a bike, hey man, here's this bike on shit. Like you want to do a ride around? They're like, huh? Come again?
You don't think that's gonna have an effect on just society as a whole? They say that the best.
I'm sure it's gonna have the same effect as us not saying like. The theater conversation. You think the downfall of theater's downfall is the downfall of society? It's the same thing. It's the same concept.
But they've done studies that show that cognitive thinking is best developed at a young age when you're outside exploring. A lot of times when you have limited supervision. Not to say there's no parents there, but the parents aren't standing over your shoulder the whole time. So recess. They say that you learn more cognitive thinking at recess than you do sitting in the classroom. Because you're exploring. You're experimenting. If we don't put kids outside, how are they ever going to get that? If they're stuck in four walls all day, it's limiting what they're seeing. It's limiting what they're experiencing. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't think that's going to have an impact on IQ levels, on intelligence?
Nothing I said has ever said I agree with it. I just said it's the era we live in now. It's easier to give your kid... Let me phrase that. It's easier and safer to give your kid a controller than to let your kid walk outside these walls and get molested, kidnapped, killed, beat up, shanked, destroyed, annihilated, mutilated, ended up in the woods with 4 different body parts around the fucking... You know what I'm saying? Social media has gripped fear.
And I honestly think that's what it is, though, because, again... You can disagree with statistics, but statistically, all those things are down.
Right. It's just, it doesn't matter about your statistics. Because I'm right there with you. Facts don't care about your feelings. I'm real big on that. You've heard me say that thousands of times. Feelings. Facts don't. Thing is at the end of the day, when it comes to parents, feelings will overrule facts.
And that's fair.
Would you trust, let's say nowadays, would you trust your kid going down the block if you had a child right now? 2 or 3 blocks?
I don't have a child, so I can't honestly say. But I would like to say yes, but
until you actually have
until I actually have one, I don't think it's a fair. My friend, she'll let her daughter when her daughter was younger go outside on the porch, but she's like, don't go past that, and it's like, I get it.
As they get older, you let that leash go a little bit more. Like right now, because I'm in the same mindset you are. Like, Joey's 5. When I was 5, I was running the block.
And that's what always draws me back is if I don't think I'd be the person I was now if it wasn't for those formative years of exploring and getting in trouble.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when I'm living in Forest Hill, I was the one white dude in a 12-block radius of black people, and I was getting jumped daily.
Mostly Mexicans, but yeah, same thing.
Jumped. Dude. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, you say that, and yet I do think that there's something to that. Like, I got my ass beat a lot.
Yeah.
Me too, bro. I got my ass beat just for talking. Just be real.
I would get beat up for being too white, and then I would get beat up for not being white enough.
I'm gonna use this story from Marty here. You okay if I tell the Barry story?
I mean,
but it pertains to the situation or what we're discussing. But I don't want to put you on it.
I mean, go ahead. It was just a school year fight. I mean,
it was, but there was more to it. You said you got jumped for being black. For
like talking to white people,
talking to white people, talking to black people. Like Marty was bullied in
it was
Miss Rankin's
class. Sixth grade.
Sixth grade. Marty was bullied, and I sat right next to him, and Marty was being bullied by this dude. We're not going to use names.
Yeah, we can.
No. We ain't gonna use names. We try to keep it as we try not to name drop as much as possible. But being bullied by this guy, just because Marty was Marty.
Yeah, yeah. Just because I had I didn't come from like having a whole bunch of J's and materialistic shit that the other black kids that their parents spent their money on them. Like, good for them, but my parents, I still had Kmart, Ross, Walmart, and Payless. You know,
and he bullied Marty relentlessly.
Just because it was me.
Just because
this talking shit, not like. And then once I just had it,
Marty said, "Bro, this is my favorite memory of all time." Marty's like, "Fuck it," and he just hits the table.
I was just basically like, quit talking shit about my shoes and shit. And then he was like, "What?" And he's like, come over and say that. And I went over there to him and I told him. And then he stood up and he hit me. He hit me and just had a block. We had a little fight.
I'd say you gotta handle it though. The best way to handle a bully is just to.
I never cared about size. I never give a fuck about that.
When I would get picked on, I would just fight them, and then I would lose. But they'd be like, you know what, you're cool, and it was like we're friends. Then after that, it's like.
But Marty's defense, he was like, the dude was like 6'8".
Bro, he was already like 6'8", 6'6", and we're like 6th grade, bro. And like, we're not my size. Wait, bro, I'm trying to throw a little punch. How can I, like, you seen, here's an example. You played Punch Out, right?
Yeah.
You remember how Homer had to jump?
I played Punch Out forever.
You remember how he had to jump, little Mac? That's what the concept was. It was like I'm having a jump just to hit his stomach or something like that.
When I first
moved his reach was crazy.
When I first moved to Texas, I didn't stay in high school for very long, but my short time in high school, I was talking to this girl, and this dude was like started talking shit. And so where I grew up, you don't talk shit, you just throw hands. So I immediately turned around like, motherfucker, what the fuck you said? Like, I stand up like I'm gonna do something. I was a 9th grade. This dude stood up, and he was like 3 feet taller than me, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down.
I was punching into the opposite, and bro, mind you, this was in the class, and everybody was just watching. It was like a whole little it was like pause. Everybody got quiet, mind you.
The teacher came back in, and we all sat
down, and like it was like nothing.
It was pure. You could hear.
It was like, all right, class, and mind you, everything's resumed just like that.
What happened, anyways? How did you end up in the principal's office? Who went to the principal?
Shoot, both of us. Well, me first.
Well, who went? Did you?
Who snitched?
Who snitched?
I think somebody said something like, it wasn't me. I know I didn't snitch on it or anything, but I think somebody said something about it during class.
Somebody said something about it, and then remember when Shane got in trouble for flipping off Miss Rankin? She flipped off Miss Rankin's behind her back, and then all the people snitched in the class about Shane. Shane got sent to the principal. Anyway, she still holds that grudge.
For real?
When I talked to her last, she still grudge holding back from 6th grade on that shit.
Get over it, man. It's just 6th grade. Come on, that man. Come on, you in your 30s. Come on.
You in your 30s. You got 2 kids. Why you still hold the grudge from
It's 6th grade, bro. Come on. It's middle school, pre-middle school. Come on.
That's just funny, man. But yeah, anyways.
To answer the question, though, I think what I would do is I'd go outside with them and let them run around, but keep an eye on them.
And see how far they will go by themselves,
And that's what we do. We take Joey to the park, and I have to tell Lauren, let him do what he does. He doesn't need you around him. He needs to make or break it without you, and that's it. But as a parent, it's hard for me to put myself in her shoes because I am the step parent.
Yeah,
I don't have the emotional connection to Joey like she does. Who knows if I became a real parent.
I'd argue you are a real parent, though. You are doing parenting, so you are a real parent.
But it's different.
You just don't have that flesh connection.
I don't have that connection like that's my son. That's my boy. Like that, I'm raising him like he's my son, but he's not my son.
Yeah.
So I don't have that connection like a father and a son really would. I have that connection as a step parent. I'm going to protect you, make sure you're fed, you're clothed, you're taken care of.
Yeah.
But... And I love you like you're my kid, for sure. But I don't know. Maybe if me and Lauren have our own kid, it could be a different feeling, you know? So I may become a lot more
strict
about, because especially if you have a daughter, man. Like, girls out here in this world are...
Y'all fast.
I can't.
Well, there's always, I mean, there shouldn't be, but there's always a double standard. I think there's always going to be a double standard.
It is. Like, the shit I let Joey get away with, I probably wouldn't let my daughter get away with.
Yeah. It is sad that the world has become this, though. I think that there's something lost in the...
It used to be fun
outside being quiet.
Yeah, like it disturbs me whenever I'm riding down the block and I really don't see
kids
playing outside.
I started seeing kids play outside again. I was just like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be.
Because
and then as soon as COVID stopped,
because it wasn't an option.
Well, I think it's the parents were home in quarantine and were like,
well,
we get the fuck out the house.
That is true, too. And I enjoyed that part. Cause I like, oh my God, they're in the park.
Because it was just like, there's something that's like, oh, this is what society's supposed to be. Kids playing outside. And then it disappeared again. And it's
especially
like,
when it's summertime and it's a bright sunny day and you don't hear no kids yelling. You don't hear no throwing the football. Bro, I'll tell y'all a story. Some folks literally rode by one time and really was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And mind y'all, all we were doing was just tossing the football back and forth. Me and our homeboy. Just tossing the football. And they were like, whoa, you don't do that shit no more. And I'm like,
I do feel like it's something that's lost. Like, it is like a loss.
Like, nobody does flag football or play football. People don't even want, like, shoot, they want hooping.
Me and my friends used to go to the woods and just beat the shit out of each other. They don't do that no more either.
People don't do wrestling on trampoline. Remember how people used to do wrestling on trampoline? I know people do wrestling on trampoline. None of that no more.
Toes and fingers.
You know what I'm saying?
Me and my friends used to go to the woods with BB guns and just shoot each other.
Yeah.
Oh, in the good times.
I mean, we didn't have BB guns. Pop wouldn't let me buy one, but he bought me a shit ton of airsoft guns. So
I wasn't allowed to buy one either. My friend bought one for me, and then I kept it at his house.
I had no friends that could have bought one for me, so...
What's sad though is last year when I went back home, I checked out my old apartments. It's all gentrified now, all uppity people, like people with money. Whereas when I lived there, it was like straight Section 8. But then I went to the woods that me and my friends used to hang out at, and it's completely overgrown. And I'm just like, so nobody's here anymore. Like, no kids come here and play, no one... And it's like, we lived here. Like, we spent so much time in these woods. How lucky
you are. You're the kid who would get fucking killed and beaten and buried in the woods. You know how lucky you are? Like,
we found one time a mattress and letters of people living there. People living in the woods. Mm-hmm. We got chased by homeless people. Like,
yeah.
That's the same shit that we were talking about that you really couldn't do in Fort Worth. Like the shit you just said that you couldn't do that like
we
down the
block. We didn't have a forest.
Like legit, maybe some bushes.
It was really like there was a housing complex, and then there was this place where like the sewer let out, and there were trees all around it, and that was our woods.
Yeah.
Then there was another wood on the other side by the golf course. That was Tecolote Canyon. We went there sometimes, but not as much. But I actually knew someone who was shot execution gang style and just left there.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, dog.
Like, so that shit happened. We just, didn't care.
Living in Forest Hill and shit like that. I mean, you see drive-bys and shootings all the time.
And hear it too. It be normal. Like, trap houses and.
We had trap houses. We saw. I don't think I ever saw a drive-by, but we've heard people get shot. Like, we've heard gunshots and shit like that. Like, it happened. It wasn't.
Yeah.
You can't let it dictate every aspect of your life.
You remember our wedding? Remember the night of our wedding? Sam came to town, my homeboy from Maryland.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sam.
We went to Applebee's the day after, or maybe it was that night. No, I think it was the day after. Right down the street. And as we're walking back to the car, we hear gunshots go off. And no lie, Sam just kind of stood there, and I stood there. Lauren's ducking and shit, and me and Sam are just like, I'm ready to go home and go to bed now.
Where I live,
I'm comfortable now.
Yeah, it's like it's normal.
Where I live now, daily.
Yeah,
just gunshots daily. I'll go to the parking lot and see bullet casings in the street, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this place?
And where you at now?
Fort Worth.
And that just closed the book. That one, you see how that came together? You just proved the point. Like
it's just, man, it's just crazy.
I love my city.
Fort Worth, man.
Real funky sound, Murder Worth, man. The funk.
I don't know. I feel like something's been lost.
It has, and I think it's just with more thing. And I don't. And this isn't political or anything, but I think with inflation as bad as it is, we're all having to work more and not be around the kids.
But I was what do they used to call it? Like latchkey kid.
Yeah,
I was a latchkey kid.
But it's a different era
of latchkey now.
Like one thing,
I don't think they exist anymore. Like
they're in the house.
Yeah. Well, but that just meant that you were letting yourself in when you got home. But I don't think that exists as much anymore.
No, I mean it's just getting. I do think things are lost. Like some of the things I see Joey do, and he's afraid of, and I'm just like,
man, like if it was me,
like when I was your age, I was doing this shit. Like what are you afraid of?
Like trying to put a clubhouse together, or build stuff, or just messing with your bike. Like taking some apart and figuring out how to put it. Yeah, like that was the thing to do. It was just walking up to random people. Like that's why he called me a social butterfly. Like it was a cool thing. Like
you would just go outside and make friends.
Yes, like I didn't care about it. It didn't matter who it was. It was like
it's the world. I don't know. Like it's sad.
It is sad. Man, this went from film to like talking about like
it was a general discussion.
But I love this though. But I like how it's a free flowing conversation. But yes,
it's sad. It's just there's something that I don't know if we'll ever get back as a society.
This is the 90s, early 2000s, because this is the first time you've looked back on.
You went way back in.
My friend Ravon, he's like
White Ducks, bro.
He's like the reason why people who grew up in the 90s are so nostalgic. He's like, because you don't see people older than us this nostalgic about their youth. They always talk about like, oh, it was better back in the day. Yeah,
like back in my day, but they don't go into detail.
They never like dive into it as much as we do. And then people younger than us don't do it. And Gen Z, they're adults now. It's not like they're kids, but they don't have this obsession with their childhood that we do. And he broke it down for me. After he did that, I was like, that makes so much sense. But it's like the kids younger than us, their entire lives have been one disaster after another. But people who grew up in the 90s were relatively sane. And then 9/11 happened.
Oh, yeah.
And
after 9/11, it's been one thing after another.
Bit by bit.
I still think we died in 2012, and this is just an alternate universe we're living in. We're living in the bad time. We're living in the bad timeline, and no one can tell me any different. That's my.
I mean, it's definitely the worst timeline. But when he broke it down like that, it's like it's true. People before us, they had a long life of things being relatively sane. People after us have never known anything but insanity.
Hey, like legit.
We had a decade where shit was pretty good.
Yeah, like okay, the 90s.
And that's why I think we miss it so much.
The first quarter of the first 1 year of the 2000s.
Yeah.
2K.
I chase the nostalgia of the 90s when it comes to the Pokemon games, like catching that feeling. That emotion you had when you picked up Pokemon Blue.
Yeah.
I think about the cards. I was like, you rip over that thing.
Well, hold on. We gonna get to. I said, in general, like when you fucking got your Pokemon Blue or Red, you chose.
It's red. It's always red.
I was a Pokemon Blue fan because Squirtle was the best.
Charmander, mother. What?
Squirtle kills Charmander, so what's the matter? So like
you pick Squirrle. See, this just changes everything. This podcast does.
I was a Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
Every time.
Really? Never played Yu-Gi-Oh.
And shout out to Digimon and Pokemon.
Never got into Digimon.
I love Digimon.
And my favorite anime is Yu Yu Hakusho. Always will be.
Yu Yu's dope. You know they're coming out with a live action.
They actually came out with a live action series. Yeah. I have not watched it. I was kind of like, no. It's just somebody was like, no.
When I went to Northlake, they don't have it anymore though. So my friend, she's a teacher there now. She's like, it's gone. But we used to have these people when I was at the first time called the Yu-Gi-Oh kids. And there's a cafeteria and then there's a wall. And there's just on the other side of the wall, there's all these kids. They brought their own TV to school every day so they could play Smash Brothers. And then they would just play Yu-Gi-Oh all day. And no matter where you were at in the cafeteria, like almost every hour, you'd hear someone scream Yu-Gi-Oh! Just randomly, just screaming Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you would look over and some kid in a cape would come around walking the subway and it's like, why is he wearing a cape? What's going on?
How you said Yu-Gi-Oh! Kids?
That's what I call them.
It's our Smash Brothers, and that's exactly what they have in every con is Smash Brothers and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
every con.
It's a multiplayer game.
Like legit, it's like.
I just always love that they brought their own TV to play video games to school.
That's some sick nasty-ish. Next level.
But yeah, we used to call them the Yu-Gi-Oh! Kids. Yeah.
Jesus. I think I would have been cool with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Kids.
I ain't gonna lie, me and my friends would sometimes kick it with them. Like they were interesting people.
Yeah.
I never understood the capes, but they were pretty interesting people.
Was y'all cool with the skaters and the jocks in school or whatever? Like, was you cool?
I was always kind of cool with everybody, but I had my own.
To?
Most of my friends were kind of troublemakers.
Yeah, mischievous and shit.
All my friends are dead or locked up nowadays that I grew up with.
Damn.
So,
yeah, that's very true though.
Yeah.
Like, rest in peace to.
I think Marty's the only friend I got left that's alive and not locked up.
Yeah, a lot of my friends got into like gangs and stuff, but I don't really think anyone that I grew up with that I know of were killed or arrested. I think most people kind of got out of that as they got older.
Nah, I'm like a blend. Half of them that Jake contested are either in jail or locked up or dead, and the other half they're
glad to see you out, Rashad.
Oh, he definitely out. He's doing good. He's supposed to be doing I think he's supposed to be a sports analyst.
That's
They're
good,
trying to be a sports
man.
analyst.
He's
yeah,
dope as fuck.
Like he literally trying to get his Shannon Sharp on. You know what I'm saying? Do his thing in sports management. Yeah. So shout out to Jabbar. You know, Jabbar Rashad Bowens, man, dead ass. Yeah.
All right, it's about that time, guys.
All right, well, I'm Jonathan.
It's your boy JB.
Marty, DJ Marty in there.
All right, give us the 90s.
Overload Productions, 91.
Give us letters.